This video will walk you through the basic steps of analyzing data on the iPad. So as you can see, what I started out with was a spreadsheet. This was made in Google Sheets, the app Google Sheets. And what I did was I recognized originally when I graphed this data that this was a square root function. In other words, I need to either square period or take the square root of the length. So what I did in my Google Sheet was I decided to make another column that I called period squared. And I entered a formula in there. What I did was I hit equals when I was in cell E2. I hit equals, and then I clicked in the single period cell, C2, and then I hit the caret, and I put 2. So it essentially took the number that was in single period cell and squared it, automatically calculated. And then I just copied that all the way down. And so all the way down in column E, it was squaring the numbers in column C. So now I have the data that I want for period squared. So what I did was I copied this data. I went and I looked for my graphical app. And then once I got my graphical app open, I went to the experiment in which I had already graphed the original data, and I hit the little plus next to my second column, and that added a third column, and I called that period squared, and I just pasted my data into that column. Now that I have my data in my data column, I'm going to go to the little wrench icon and hit 2 graphs, which will bring up my original graph of the original data and also my new set of data. Now you might have to play around a little bit with the axes, and you might get both sets graphed on one of them or something like that. But if you tap on the axes, you can select which set of data you want on which axis. When I highlighted all of my data and I tapped, this selection option opened up for me. And I came down to the curve fit and said, well, this is a linear curve. So I scrolled down to where it said linear. And when I tapped off of that, a straight line appeared. Not only did a straight line appear, but some information. Y equals mx plus b, or in this case, t squared period squared equals m times the length plus b, where m, the slope of this line, is 3.962, and the y-intercept is 0.005, but I have some leeway, I have some error here, and so this error is certainly much bigger than the y-intercept. So that y-intercept is essentially a 0. And that's how you analyze your data in graphical.